Welcome everybody to our webinar today about dual action cooling for textiles, HeiQ Cool. My name is Philip Ghekiere. I am Digital Marketing Manager at HeiQ, and I will be guiding you for this webinar today. We will have 30 minutes of presentations followed by 15 minutes of Q&A. You can ask questions throughout the presentations already by using the Q&A button, and we'll get to those during the Q&A part. Now, let me introduce our speakers today. First up, we have Philip Ghekiere. Philip is our Sustainability Officer at HeiQ. He has 35 years of experience in the textile industry, specifically bedding and home textiles. Philip is very good at translating technical language such as innovations into a language that consumers understand. Next up, we have our guest speaker today, Danielle Mason. Danielle is Head of Product Development at the Fine Bedding Company. She has 12 years of experience in product development in the nursery industry, the outdoor industry, and home textiles. 3 years ago, she joined the Fine Bedding Company, formerly known as Trendsetter. Danielle is passionate about sustainability and design. Now, let me hand over to Philip to start the presentation.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Philip, and today I'm calling from HeiQ's Innovation Hub in Portugal. For those of you who would not be familiar with HeiQ, HeiQ is a 3-in-1 company. We do scientific research, we do manufacturing of chemistry, and we also do ingredient branding. We convey the message of our technologies to the consumer and helping our customers doing that. HeiQ is listed in London, headquarters is in Switzerland, and we have about 240 people across the globe, more than 30 nationalities in our team, so we are a truly diverse company. As you can see, we are an innovation powerhouse. We work with more than 300 brands across the globe, creating fine materials for consumers. Apart from functionality, a big driver for us is sustainability. We work as an enabler in the value chain, helping our customers to create more sustainable technologies, giving our contribution to a greener and a better world. Now, as to the topic of today, what a pleasure for me to present the magic of HeiQ Cool, a dual cooling technology. Well, what is the issue that we are trying to solve? The issue is control of body temperature. Temperature control is essential for comfort and for health when you are working out, when you are relaxing, and most certainly also when you are sleeping. What is the solution that HeiQ is providing? It's HeiQ Cool dual action cooling, the first technology that combines contact cooling with continuous evaporative cooling for optimal well-being, day and night. The first technology as part of HeiQ Cool is a vegetable oil, which has the possibility or the ability to absorb heat and to give you an instant cool sensation. The novelty here is that we are using vegetable oil. We are no longer using paraffins as PCMs used to have. We are also no longer using melamine for the shell. So in that way, twice a novelty in the technology of contact cooling. The second technology in this dual tech is a magic polymer that starts to evaporate humidity when the temperature rises. So not only having a cooling effect, but also dealing with humidity. So this is the dual action of HeiQ Cool. It's an instant cool sensation because of the vegetable oil, and it's a permanent, continuous cooling action thanks to the magic polymer. In this graph, you can see that this is the instant cooling, where you get the cool sensation. And then when we put a drop of warm sweat on the fabric surface, we see that the instant or the evaporative cooling kicks off with a potential of cooling of 3 degrees centigrades, that is 5.4 Fahrenheit of total cooling capacity. Where can HeiQ be used? Well, obviously, any textile product where the skin comes close to the textile is of interest, but also any textile product that may face issues with temperature or humidity or a combination of both. How do we test HeiQ Cool? Well, we have a number of ways to do that. Of course, the most interesting one is when you have the sensation of wearing the product yourself and have the cooling, when you can really experience it for yourself. The second test method is the objective measurement of heat absorption, called differential scanning calorimetry. And then a third one, a very popular test, is the Qmax cooling test, which is used to measure the thermal sensation, or let's say mimics the thermal sensation of human skin and the experience of the sensation of heat. So these are three test methods that we use to prove the functionality and to compare with untreated fabrics. Just as an example, this is a result of Qmax testing, where you see a fantastic initial result for the treated fabric, but also after 10 washes, after 20 washes, we still have fantastic results on Qmax, showing that the skin really has the full benefit of this cooling sensation. Okay. Apart from the functional edge, there is also a sustainability edge to this technology. As I already explained, more than 50% of the material is bio-based. It's USDA certified as a bio-based product. It's suited for Oecotex, and it's also during the application, it's saving energy because it has a very short drying time, so saving both energy and time. Bio-based technology. How do we communicate the consumer benefit to the consumer? Well, we have, as we have for all our technologies, a tool set that we use, that our customers can use to convey the message to the consumer, going from hang tags, leaflets, videos, in order to be able to tell the story in the most convincing way. But of course, nothing is more convincing than the testimonial of a customer. So that's why I gladly hand over now to Danielle Mason of the Fine Bedding Company, who will continue the presentation.
My name's Danielle Mason, and I'm Head of Product Development here at the Fine Bedding Company. And I'll just be giving you a quick presentation that focuses on our most recent innovation around temperature management for sleep. So the Fine Bedding Company is a 4th generation British business, and until very recently was known as Trendsetter. We've spent more than 100 years investing in better bedding. Oh, sorry, the slides seem to be, oh, there we go. This was done by seeking out the best fabrics, fibres and technologies which are carefully blended together in each one of the products that we make. Woven in the finest luxury materials and responsibly manufactured, our bedding is quality and made to last wash after wash. It's what makes our sumptuous duvets as at home on your bed as they are in some of the suites of the world's best hotels. Past, present and future, our united purpose is to create better bedding that delivers a superior night's sleep. So sleep is very important to us here at the Fine Bedding Company, and I'm going to talk you through some of the problems that can affect your sleep and how we've developed a solution by working in conjunction with HeiQ to overcome these problems. Both the temperature of your sleep environment and your body temperature will impact how well you sleep, yet we don't often associate how well we're sleeping with how hot or cold we are in bed. Temperature is the biggest cause of poor quality sleep and sleep disruptions. Immediately before sleep, temperature increases, heart rate declines, and an increase in sweating is observed. And core body temperature heat loss is the crucial determinant for sleep induction. The regulation of heat loss in the evening is intimately associated with sleepiness and the ease to fall asleep. Any major deviation from ideal sleeping temperature leads to a disturbance of sleep, resulting in less dreaming sleep, which is also known as REM sleep. During REM sleep, our ability to regulate body temperature is impaired. Therefore, our bodies avoid REM sleep if temperature conditions are not ideal, which results in poorer, restless sleep. So it's essential to create a sleep environment which actively responds to the sleeper's change in temperature, and this can start with your bedding. So our sleep cycle is regulated by our circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is your body's 24-hour internal body clock based on the light and dark cycles of the sun. This body clock gets its cues from a number of environmental and personal factors, ranging from the amount of light exposure you have, exercise, and temperature. Our core body temperature hovers at around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but it fluctuates by about 2 degrees. And the drop in temperature starts about 2 hours before you go to sleep, coinciding with the release of the sleep hormone melatonin. During sleep, body temperature continues to fall, reaching a low point in the early morning, and then gradually warming up as the morning progresses. But this process can actually be disrupted due to a number of reasons, such as health and external temperatures. The principal way in which the body cools itself down for sleep is by sending heat away from the core. If it's not able to do this for various reasons, which include having the wrong bedding, your sleep will be interrupted. So to help our customers get a comfortable night's sleep, we needed to develop a bedding solution that controls our body temperature through these natural fluctuations. Another factor that can affect your body's temperature is the climate. And across the world, the highest temperatures ever recorded occurred last summer, mainly due to global warming. High temperatures challenge our health in many ways, including how well we sleep, which can lead to daytime impairments such as fatigue. Warmer temperatures can cause discomfort and restlessness, and anyone who's slept in a stuffy bedroom can agree that it's hard to get to sleep when you're sweaty and dehydrated. August 2022 was globally 0.3 degrees warmer than the average taken over the past 30 years. A bedroom that's too warm can interfere with your body's thermoregulation abilities. The temperature of the bedroom is often out of one's control, so your bedding is the next best thing to correct. Another factor that can affect your temperature is your body's overall health. Menopause is a major time of major hormonal, physical and psychological changes for women, and it's a contributor to sleep disruption. Hot flashes and night sweats are common, as well as insomnia and sleep-disordered breathing such as snoring and restless leg syndrome. Menopausal sleep complaints are often accompanied by depression and anxiety, which can worsen sleep issues. By the same token, a lack of sleep can cause or contribute to anxiety and depression. On average, around 12% of women experience sleep complaints, and as women age into the late 40s to early 50s, the number increases dramatically to 40%. This is often caused by the menopause, which is not very often spoken about. At the Fine Bedding Company, we wanted to come up with a solution to tackle many of these problems. So what is the solution? So many people with sleep problems tend to use sleep tech and trackers to monitor the sleep, with the assumption that it will eventually improve their quality of sleep. And in some cases it may do, but people need to look in more detail at the traditional sleep products they already use, such as a pillow, a duvet or bed linen, and how a quick change to these products could help them overcome their sleep problems, especially when it comes to temperature regulation. As innovators, the Fine Bedding Company has worked very closely with HeiQ to develop a range of bedding powered by HeiQ Cool that offers temperature management all night long, and we're very proud to be one of the first to market with this innovation. Our smart temperature range is made in our eco factory in Estonia, where we utilise responsibly sourced BCI cotton with our unique smart fill fibres, which are made from recycled bottles, to create a product range that's also sustainable. The smart temperature range includes a duvet, a pillow, mattress protectors and pillow protectors that offer instant contact cooling, as well as a continuous evaporative temperature management to regulate the user's body temperature all night long. There are other similar products on the market that claim to be cooling, and these products may feel cold at first, but they slowly heat up afterwards, which is what we didn't want. What attracted us to HeiQ Cool is that after that initial cooling sensation, the temperature regulating fibers then kick in and they manage your skin's temperature all night long. And it works only when you need it to and cleverly interacts with your skin's temperature, so you won't be left feeling cold in bed. We've also developed a bed linen range using HeiQ's Smart Temp technology that complements this product range perfectly. And as well as launching in our own brand, we're also able to offer this technology to our private label customers, which include many of the leading and best loved brands in the UK. We've got an enormous amount of 5-star reviews on our website, which is testament to how well the HeiQ Cool technology performs on our products. And a couple of the reviews are just shown here, so I'll just read a few out. Great buy. I have terrible trouble with night sweats, and this pillow has been a great help. And another reads, a great pillow which does what it says and keeps your head nice and cool all night long. We'll definitely be buying more. As well as the many 5-star reviews you've just seen, we decided to really put the product to the test and trial with a group of women from the Perimenopause Hub. The Perimenopause Hub is a website that brings together people and advice. It's a source of knowledge for women looking to find answers around their menopausal symptoms. So we sent out some of our bedding for testing and got some very strong results. 80% had a better night's sleep. 79% felt the bedding temperature was more regulated, 73% felt cooler, and 80% felt the bedding helped ease their menopausal symptoms. And just one review there reads, I was very skeptical about using this bedding as I couldn't figure out how it would work, but it works. The bedding has helped reduce my hot flushes and hot sweats at night are a thing of the past. Would definitely recommend. We felt that the Fine Bedding Company and HeiQ were the perfect partnership. With aligning values around innovation and sustainability, our partnership with HeiQ was an obvious decision. Both brands are leaders in their respective fields, whilst managing the effects on our planet. The Fine Bedding Company has spent more than 100 years investing in both sustainable and superior bedding, and we consciously thread responsible innovation, materials, and manufacturing through each one of our collections. HeiQ are leaders in material innovation and create some of the most effective high-performance textile treatments in the market. So the strategic partnership between HeiQ and the Fine Bedding Company has gone from strength to strength, and we now have exclusivity in the UK on HeiQ Cool on bedding. Along the right-hand side are just a handful of the many accreditations and certifications that the Fine Bedding Company holds to ensure that every product we make is better for you and our planet too. Thanks for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Philip, you can stop sharing the presentation. Now we're getting to the Q&A part of the webinar. A bit earlier than I expected. You were quite efficient in presentation. So we already have questions, but to repeat, if our listeners want to ask our speakers questions, please use the Q&A button. Then we will answer. Okay, so first question is a pretty good one, actually a logical one. Is the finishing only good for summer, for the hot season, or can it also be used in winter? Maybe both of you can answer this question.
I'll let you go first, Danielle.
So as you can see there, that because of the interactive technology of HeiQ Cool, it only works when it needs to. So in summer, it tends to be higher in temperature to do with the climate, but also in winter, you're not actually going to feel cool in your bed because it only works when you need to. But if you have any health issues, such as the one I mentioned, such as menopause, that happens all year round. So actually, yes, it is ideal for winter and summer.
Yep. I would like to add to that yes, indeed, also in wintertime, you know, when you are tucked in your duvet, also then you can have issues with humidity and temperature. And it's definitely worthwhile, rather than spending all your money on tracking devices, right, to invest it in the textile environment around you to actually solve the problem, not just register it.
Okay, thank you very much. And next question is very technical. What's the wash durability?
Yeah, that's one for me, I guess. Well, as you have seen in the presentation, we have past 20 home laundries. And then beyond 20, it really depends on the substrate on the individual product. But it can be extended to over 30. So really depending on the individual product, but beyond 20 home laundries.
Okay. The next question actually for me, it's can we have the presentation? Yes. If you write me an email, I will send you the presentation, the slides that you just saw. Okay. Yes. Next one. Oh wow, okay, the questions are rising fast. Okay. Can you please share if the hydrofunctional polymer used in the technology is also bio-based?
The polymer is not bio-based. It's a dual technology. So the first part, the vegetable oil that is giving you instant cooling, that's the bio-based part. So that's over 50% of the total product. The magic polymer that is boosting evaporation is not a bio-based product.
Okay, thank you very much. Next question. In regards to the application of HeiQ Cool to apparels, will it be done at the finishing stage with use of chemicals? Well,
yeah, it's done in an industrial application. It can be done in padding. It can be done in foam coating. It can be done in printing, but always in an industrial application on the fabric after it has been woven or knitted.
Okay, so I think that answers our next question, which is like, can the HeiQ Cool technology be applied to the fabric in pad, dry method, exhaust method? Both is possible.
Not an exhaust. So as I mentioned, yeah, because you need an even application of the technology on the fabric, so exhaust would be difficult. But all the others, padding, kiss roll, foam coating, print are possible.
Okay, and next question is, so it can be applied, is it suitable for knitted fabrics, 100% cotton or polyester blends?
Any fabric, regardless whether it's a natural cellulose or polyester, the technology works on all substrates.
Okay, next question is, when will the product be available? We manufacture mattress ticking fabrics and we use the header for finishing.
It is available. Give us a call and we'll do a trial for you. We do offer quality validation of the product, quality control if necessary. So give us a call. Okay.
Next one is there a place where we can find a full sleep solutions set with HeiQ Cool? I don't know. Is there from cushions to cover to mattress?
I'm unsure if they're meaning finished products, but if they do, then yes, the Fine Bedding Company. We have pillows, duvets, mattress protectors, and pillow protectors, which are readily available now.
Okay, so if you are feeling hot during your sleep, go shopping at the Fine Bedding Company. Okay. Answered. Yeah, can I wash this product? Yes, you can wash. Okay, what is the difference between HeiQ Cool and HeiQ Smart Temp? Philip, maybe you can show the differences.
Yep. Well, actually, HeiQ Smart Temp is one of the technologies that is in HeiQ Cool. So as I explained earlier, you have the instant cool sensation that comes from the vegetable oil. And then you have the evaporative cooling, so where the technology starts to evaporate humidity when temperature rises and stops evaporating when temperature drops. So that is the Smart Temp part of the technology. So they're both in HeiQ Cool.
Mm-hmm. Next question is quite technical. Are you able to talk more about how the HeiQ technology, in particular the PCMs, are encapsulated since you are not using melamine shells?
Yeah, so as I explained, we are no longer using melamine because melamine contains formaldehyde, and then you get issues with Eucotex. So we have replaced melamine by another raw material for the shell. And we have replaced the paraffin, which was in traditional PCMs used on the inside of the shell. And we have replaced that with the vegetable oil.
More questions? I think you have to explain this again. So can it be applied on finished products, such as pillowcases or bed sheets? Or can you apply starch to cotton garments by dipping it in the product solution?
Yeah,
so
I think people are referring to a kind of spray that you can apply afterwards. That's not what we do. So it's always done in an industrial application because you need to apply it evenly, on the textile surface. It's also the most economical way to do it in this way. So after the weaving or the knitting of the product in an industrial mill. So we do not have let's say, after sales spray application.
And next, what is the recommended dosage? And is there any special method of application?
Yeah, well, from the technical application possibilities, I would advise to use it in foam application, so on one side of the fabric, because then there you have the contact with the skin, or you're closest to the skin. So if you put it on the back side of the fabric or inside by padding, then of course you lose a little bit of this cool sensation. So the closer to the skin, to the contact surface, the better.
Okay. Now, next question, I'm not quite sure I understand, but maybe Philip, you can answer. You showed some results for the wash durability. How is the performance of non-treated material compared to that? I guess it won't be cooling. Okay,
No.
please answer the question.
Yeah, so the first thing, if you have a untreated fabric, the first thing when you do the objective measurement of heat absorption, that will not be there, right? Because there is no PCM in the untreated fabric. If you look at the evaporation, also that will be lacking. So you will not have this surface cooling effect by evaporation to the same extent as if you were looking at the treated fabric. So yeah, it's lacking, right? It's on both sides of the dual technology. You can see, yeah, differences.
Okay. And the next question, Danielle, does the Fine Bedding Company sell their products worldwide? Is it available worldwide?
Yes, so we have our own website, which is finebedding.co.uk. It's also sold in independent retailers in the UK, and there are various countries worldwide where these products are sold. But we also work with private label customers. So if you have a look and you see the HeiQ Cool logo, it can also be purchased from them. But it's mainly sold within the UK predominantly.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I might want some myself. I will check from Switzerland. Okay, next question. Can you explain the evaporation mechanism? That would be Philip. Again, I mean.
Yeah, it has to do with the shape of the polymer. So when temperature rises between 20 and 40, the shape of the polymer changes, makes humidity available. So it's in first instance a matter of wicking, so spreading the humidity out over a large surface, which then enables it to evaporate. So it's not a phase change material, it's a shape change material. That's a difficult one.
Okay, we have really technical people in our audience, so I'll just ask the next, but it kind of fits in here. Could you elaborate on the chemistry of the non-melamine resin technology?
No. Yeah, it's a synthetic shell, right? It's a synthetic shell to hold the vegetable oil, but there's nothing I would like to disclose further on that. It's not melamine. Okay. There's no formaldehyde in there, so that's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How many dry solids do you have to put on the fabric to feel the cool? So I guess that's the dosage question.
Yeah, the dosage is something that we decide together with the customer. So actually, the more you put on the fabric, the cooler, or let's say the more effect you will have on the instant cooling. It also has to do with the application method, as I earlier explained. So if you put it on the top side where you have contact with the skin, you already have more effect. So the dosage is something that we can talk about, discuss, depending on the requirements of the product. When it's about the evaporation, it evaporates as long as the layers on top are breathable, right? If you would have like a plastic sheet, then breathability is gone. But as long as the layers on top, the pajamas, the sheets, the duvet is breathable, evaporation happens through these layers.
Okay, next question. Marketing claims. Can marketing claims be made for a specific reduction in temperature for treated fabrics? For example, reduced by 2 degrees, by 3 degrees. How can that be done?
Yes, well, as I mentioned, we have objective measurement data. We have different tests that give you an objective number. That can be easily done. DSC measuring, we have QMax, but we have also more complicated test methods that are then, of course, also more expensive, like the mannequin test, where you have a mannequin that is able to sweat, where you can put the mannequin in a real sleeping environment and really measure reduction of temperature on the let's say the lower part of the arms, for instance. So all these tests do exist. We have data on that, and then based on the specific product, yes, you can make formal objective claims.
Okay, thank you. And next question for Danielle. Danielle, does the fine bedding company have a distributor in India?
No, we don't. We have the sales team are predominantly located in the UK, but if this person would like to get in touch, I'm sure that's something that we can discuss.
You have muted yourself, Rahel.
Oh, sorry. You can write me an email and I will forward to Danielle. That should work. Okay. Can it be used in garments too? Further, will there be an upgraded version? How does it compare to Outlast?
Yeah, it can be used in apparel. So any textile product that has nearness to skin and where humidity and temperature is an issue is of interest. So yes, definitely also for apparel. I do not want to talk about competition's products, but what I know about Outlast is that it's a PCM incorporated in a yarn, right? And that has a certain heat absorption capacity as well. But yeah, you would have to compare the objective measuring numbers. What Outlast does not have is the continuous cooling. So the evaporative cooling is not available when you buy an Outlast product.
Okay, thank you very much. Next question. Can it be combined with other HeiQ technologies? I assume like odor control, for example.
It can, but yeah, it's always good to test. We also have to look at the recipe closely because, as we mentioned, this is already a dual technology. It has the polymer, it has the vegetable oil. So if you want to add more to that, yes, but we have to take a close look on the substrate with the experts.
The next question is about certification. Has it passed all the necessary certifications like CDHC, eco-textiles, etc.?
Yes, it does. So it's USDA compliant. It's Oecotex. It's okay for Oecotex, which means that if your fabric is Oecotex certified, the addition of HeiQ Cool is not changing that. So there's no problems there at all.
Okay. Next question is: how much can it reduce the temperature? Can it go up to 4 degrees?
As I showed in the presentation, we talk about 3 degrees centigrade. That's 5.4 Fahrenheit. let's say that's a reasonable reduction. It's a reduction that we find in many of the products that we do. Yeah, on individual, very specific cases, if you put a lot of the PCM, it could be more, but 3 degrees is what we have in our general communication.
Okay, what is? I think it's a general question about certifications. What's the formaldehyde limit so it gets certified by Oecotex?
There is no formaldehyde in there, so there is no.
I guess if there were, I think maybe trying to find out how much they could use. Yeah.
I don't know by heart. I would have to look it up. It's a number of a small number of ppms that is allowed, but I don't know by heart what it is. If you ask the question by email, we will provide you the answer right after. So no problem there.
Okay. Next question, technical. Will fabrics treated on a pattern be less cool than fabrics treated on the mangle of center?
Yeah, well, the number of, let's say the heat storage or absorption capacity is the same, regardless of the application method. But when you put the capsules with the vegetable oil on the inside of the fabric, your instant cool sensation will be less, right? So the ability to absorb heat is the same. You will have the same amount of joules per square meter absorbed, but when you touch the fabric, your cool sensation is less because a lot of these capsules are inside the fabric. I hope that clarifies it a bit.
And the next question is, if the humidity is close to 100%, does it still work?
That's a good question. Well, of course, evaporation of humidity needs, let's say, an environment that still can absorb humidity, right? If your humidity, your relative humidity in the room is 100%, then evaporation is not going to happen. But that is, of course, a circumstance, a climate circumstance that is not very often met. But in those circumstances, evaporation is super difficult, right? Because the air around you is already saturated and unable to take up more humidity. That's correct.
Okay. Is the cooling effect affected by the fabric thickness? Thicker fabrics can show a slower temperature control response and vice versa.
Yeah, it's if you have a thicker fabric and you put the capsules on the inside, really, you have the same storage or absorption capacity, but probably on the outside, the feeling, the instant cool feel will be less. It's also, most of our recipes take weight in account. So we give a certain dosage depending on the weight of the fabric. So if you have a very thick fabric, you would have to apply more to have the same result as opposed to a thinner fabric. Yeah. Okay,
next question is about cost. Can you give us an idea about cost per duvet or pillowcase? An idea?
I presume that question is to me. So a pillow starts at about £30 and a duvet starts at about £90 for a single.
I think they also meant, like, you know, when you apply HeiQ Cool, how much does it up the costs, maybe? So maybe, well, we don't have, I think it's individual as well. So yeah, for Philip maybe also.
And the chemical compound is only part of the cost that the mill has to do the application. There is also machine time. There is also probably other FR additives or whatever. So it's difficult to say, you know, in general what the cost is. It really depends on the other variables as well. Yeah.
Okay. Next question: is there any change in hand feel of the fabric after application?
Well, I think Danielle can testify that no, there is no visual or on the hand feel, so the fabric stays exactly the same, which is also remarkable because we know that traditional or more classic PCMs do have a negative effect on touch. That is definitely not the case with HeiQ Cool.
Okay, next question. Can the finishing be applied on any type of composition, like cellulosic, synthetics, anything?
Yeah, no restrictions on the raw material side.
Okay. So in addition to comfortability, what built-in benefits are embedded in fine bedding? Question to Danielle.
Yeah, so we only use high quality traceable materials across all of our collections. And the fibres are very unique to us that we use in our pillows and duvets. So we have an exclusive smart fill fibre that we make in our factory in Estonia. So in duvets, it's carded in very fine layers. So there's a very good warmth to weight ratio. So you get the warmth without the bulkiness. With the pillows, all our fibres are balled, so the pillows never go flat. And as I mentioned on the final slide, we have many sustainable accreditations as well.
Very nice. I think I'll definitely look for it after it's finished. Okay. Next question that I don't understand, so I hope Philip understands it. Does it have some effect due to calendaring process? In other words, high pressure does high pressure have any effect on the performance?
Yeah, calendaring is a treatment that is applied on textiles to make them smoother. That uses high temperature and pressure. The effect is there is no, I would say, there is no effect on the performance of HeiQ Cool.
And next question: how does the polymer improve evaporation? Maybe just go over the process more quickly again.
Yeah, so the polymer is not active at 20 degrees, so at the room temperature. The polymer becomes active at a higher temperature. So the closer you get to 40, that's high fever, right? The more effective it is. So what happens is that the polymer changes shape. It shrinks, it makes humidity available. It makes sure that this humidity is transported, is wicking over as large surface as possible, enabling it to evaporate. Okay, and then because of the evaporation, it has when you evaporate humidity, you extract heat from the surface that you evaporate from. And as a second benefit, you also get rid of this humidity, right? So because in the sleep environment, not only temperature but also humidity, a damp, damp sheets or duvets can also be uncomfortable. So you kind of solve two things at the same time.
Okay, next question. Is it useful in deserts when the day temperatures exceed 50 degrees, but at night temperatures drop to almost 0? Is there a specific product required for such an application?
50 degrees is extremely high. As I just mentioned, the working radius for SmartTemp and for HeiQ Cool is between 20 and 40, right? It's around your body temperature. When you go higher than 40, the evaporation will still go on. Also at 50, right? It's going to evaporate, provided that the air is not 100% saturated with humidity. It's still going to work, but it's higher than 40 is there is no extra benefit there anymore. The good thing about SmartTemp, about the evaporation, is that there is no capacity limit. So as long as the temperature is high, it will continue to evaporate. Is that 8 hours during the night, it's going to evaporate 8 hours, right? That is not the case with phase change materials. There, when you have filled your capacity of joules, when everything has been, all the heat has been absorbed, capacity is filled, then phase change materials have reached their capacity and stop working. So the polymer will continue for as long as temperature is high.
Thank you very much. We still have some open questions, but we have reached the end of our webinar. So all questions will be answered. If you have, if you ask with your name, we will write you an email after this webinar. Also, if you want the presentation slides, write me an email. I will send it to you. Also, if you want to contact our speakers, write me an email. I will forward your email to the speaker.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Thanks to our speakers for coming. A very interesting webinar. A lot of questions, so that was quite some interest here. Yeah, and HeiQ is always holding webinars about material, textile related topics. Keep an eye open, or inscribe for our newsletter, so you'll get the latest news on upcoming webinars. Thank you for coming, and see you next time, hopefully.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Rahel.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.